Good morning, everybody. It is Jillian. Beautiful day here in the Northeast, North Midwest, I guess. A few states close to the Atlantic Ocean, but more in the Great Lakes area. Well, I feel actually pretty good. My husband's on a different schedule, so he'll be doing that graveyard shift, which is a brutal shift, especially when you like doing things during the day and then transitioning to working overnight. Holy crap. But it's not going to really affect me too much. It did before, but now it's really different than when he first started doing that shift. And he'll only be doing it for a week, so no big deal. But I was up around 4 anyways, but I didn't want to get up because I was blowing my nose so hard. Like literally blowing my nose, blowing my nose, blowing my nose. And yesterday I was feeling like when after I did that Facebook Live, I really couldn't sit in my chair too long because my legs were like in pain. It was like being in like growing pains. And I know it's because the body is pushing all of those antibodies through the different systems to then eventually be released and come out my nose or out my poop. And so I was sneezing a lot early this morning, and blowing my nose like a lot. And I can't even emphasize how much a lot, but I was. And that is because I'm opening my system so I can release those demons so they don't turn into something catastrophic later. And that's essentially what the whole J world is about. It's about opening your system and stop resisting the changes that are going on, because change is inevitable. It's about assimilation. It's about facing your demons. It's about so many things that are so opposite, completely opposite of the mainstream and the alternative mainstream. And so it's also understanding how our society has been split up and dissected and compartmentalized and CRISPR gene edited for very specific gifts, very specific skills, even curses. And you have to know where you are in that whole mess of chaos that has some type of order to it, but it doesn't seem like it, but it does. And so that's your own journey. And so anyway, when I blow my nose, I use my stomach muscles to blow my nose. I use my diaphragm to blow my nose. It's not like I'm trying to do breathing exercises or meditating or playing those games. No, I've already conditioned myself when I was sick the last few years, on and off from all the respiratory stuff, from the instability, was I would keep blowing my nose and blowing my nose and blowing my nose and coughing. I don't really cough that much anymore when you think about it, because everything is coming out here. And when I do feel the proteins multiply and gather up in my nose, then I'm just blowing on this side, turning over and listening to my videos. And then I feel everything come this way, and it opens up on this side, and I blow my nose and it comes out. And then I went back to sleep last night, or this morning after 4. My husband came home around 4 a.m. and I slept for a few hours, and I have some really crazy dreams. Not really that crazy, but they're dreams. And it was just like, it was great. And I feel great. Okay. And so I'm also remembering, let me just do a real hard transition about all the different Hollywood stars that are dealing with how they grew up and what they were raised with. And then of course the specialties that they went into. And so now you're seeing like Drew Barrymore. Yeah, she had a rough fucking childhood too, but she also made a shit ton of money. And she learned a skill, which was acting. Okay. But everyone who has gone through some shit, no matter what kind of shit, whether you're in some Midwest small town that is given a voice and you have to go through your own PTSD if you want to get to the next level, is no different than someone in Hollywood or someone in Silicon Valley or someone in, the UK that must face their demons and release those demons and be thankful for the gifts that were given to them, to you, but also acknowledge what was, so that way you could at least
face that and deal with whatever emotions, right, that come with that, and then release them and then build from there. And so what she went through as far as her mom exploiting her, okay, she got a good fucking life. I mean, what do you mean good? Well, she was given access to millions of dollars, and she acted and she partied and she went through all of her trials and tribulations like anyone does, but in that level of exposure. And so now she has to look back and look back on everything and reconcile. See, when you're around 50, 60, you're seeing now all the kids that were raised by the silent generation, by the boomers, reconciling with everything. Some don't survive the reconciliation process. Others are going to. And so what I'm offering to everyone is surviving the reconciliation process. It doesn't have to destroy you. Okay? And some people will stay within their programming. They won't change it because there's no reason to. They're not at that point where they need to change. They're still beautiful. They're still making lots of money. And those are in there who were like 10 years, 15 years younger than me. They're still, viable. They're not really reconciling. If they went through some issues, they've gotten over it and are making money from that, or capitalizing on the changes or change of lifestyle. But reconciliation is going to come sooner in this environment because it's so aggressive. All right. So just understand that even Hollywood is no different than you and I on Facebook in our little tiny towns in some obscure place in some corner of the world. All right. We're no different. Not at all. And so, so there's that. And then I remember everyone's like, oh yeah, we are the resistance. Alex Jones talks about we are the resistance while he's jailing himself and everyone that follows him. Because resistance is futile. Why is resistance futile? Because it puts you in a deadlock. It puts you at an impasse. There is no progress. So what is resistance? Okay, well, you can see definitions. Politics, Second World War, medical, biology, physics. All right, hold on. All right, so there's noun, the refusal to accept or comply with something, the attempt to prevent something by actions or argument. She put up a resistance to being led away. Okay, there's physical. When someone's putting their hands on you and you don't like it, you have every right to resist anyone putting their hands on you. Okay? So if anyone comes into your house and puts their hands on you, forcibly does something to you, you have every fucking right to resist and stand your ground if there are stand your ground laws. All right? Okay. But we have people that have never had anyone come into their house and they're resisting something that doesn't exist. And that's what you have to understand now what's going on. Similar, opposition to hostility, to aversion to, refusal to accept, unwillingness to accept, disinclination to accept, reluctance to accept, lack of enthusiasm for. Opposite is acceptance and receptivity. The number 2 definition, the ability not to be affected by something, especially adversely. Some of us have a lower resistance to cold than others. Okay. So yeah, some people have more of an immunity, or they don't feel like as cold as other people because they have more insulation. So when someone's really skinny and they don't have enough fat or insulation on their body, then they're going to feel colder than the person who's like my size, who has some fat on her body, who has insulation. And so I'm resistant to being really cold. Not that I'm trying to be resistant. I'm just acclimating to my environment, and I have enough substance to me to support that. All right. So we have futile. What is futile? Futile, incapable of producing any useful result, pointless. A futile attempt to keep fans from mounting the stage. Okay. And then similar is fruitless, vain, and pointless. So resistance is futile. Why is resistance futile? Here's the thing with the whole anti-V world. I'm going to use that as an example because that's still going very strong out there. No one's coming into your house and saying, here, take a V. They might suggest it. They might have people recommend it. They're in their vans going through the neighborhood saying, hey, here, I offer you this. Okay. And I was caught up in it too. So I know from experience. but no one's forcing you to do anything. Now, when you're at a job that you voluntarily go to, okay, and they're saying that you are part of the medical industry and we will require you to get a V, and they're like, I'm non-compliance, I'm resisting that, that's against my body, mind, and spirit, and all the arguments around that. Well, you don't have to go to that job. I mean, no one's forcing you to go to work, to be in that specific career field. Oh, but what is it that's causing you to resist? Because you're trapped. When you are trapped in the wealth of the medical system, and then you've also been radicalized against the procedures because you know in your gut something is not completely right with the medical system. And those are in the anti-V world. They know something's not completely right with the medical system, but they don't know what it is, and they're just laying blame wherever they can. And so when you're being told that this is what you need to do, is to get a V back then in 2020, and everyone was all freaking out. And the reason why they felt trapped, they felt like they had to resist, is because they were used to a specific level of existence. They could not evolve. They were trapped in their job. So now you see how trapped you are. When someone introduces something, a change that you are resisting and you are an activist against. And then you realize just how trapped you are in your lifestyle, in your belief systems, in everything. And because, yeah, I mean, you could quit your job today if you wanted to. You could scale down your lifestyle, scale down your kids' expectations, scale down your expectations from all your friends and family and the validation, and you don't have to get that therapeutic that you have a question about, that your gut knew something was a little bit questionable. Even though it wasn't poison, it was the environment that changed, that made it very accelerated and very highly turbocharged. But people didn't know that back then. Even I didn't know that back then. Okay? So we were all blaming the V when really it was a whole compilation of things. But when you are resisting something, you are actually showing and exposing just how trapped you really are in your lifestyle, in your belief system, in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. And so America, the last greatest experiment, is exposing just how trapped people are in everything. Their lack of evolution, their lack of everything. And then they go out there and blame somebody. They blame jelly juice. They blame salt. They blame water. They blame gluten. They blame sugar. They blame, I'm trying to think, water, air, the chemtrails. They blame climate change. Well, I wouldn't blame you blaming climate change because that's a lot. That's aggressive, but climate change is a lot of things. It's not just one thing. All right. And so maybe if you want to figure out how to not be trapped anymore and to break free, you got to understand physics, chemistry, because physics and chemistry and biochemistry, math and English and all that have everything to do with social constructs, has everything to do with what's going on with the new industrial revolution. Okay, the fourth turning of an 80-year cycle. Every 20 years something happens, every 10 years something happens. You're going to have to figure out how you're going to navigate this and give your kids a chance, give yourself a chance if you so choose. All right, so you have to know at least 3 major laws, like 3 major sets of laws. Newton's 3 laws, the laws of thermodynamics, and the laws of biology. Because everything with Newton, the laws of motion, have everything to do with all the arguments out there, all the for and against, which is the politics, the religion, and the science dogmas. So now you're going to realize now where I'm coming from through physics, that you are in jail if you are so entrenched in your politics, in your religion, and in your science dogmas. And so the first law of Newton's 3 laws of motion, is an object will not change in its motion unless a force acts upon it. Okay, so what's in motion stays in motion. What's at rest stays at rest. And so if they keep continually triggering you and you stay in motion, you'll use up so much energy you don't have. And so you have to be one now to control your laws of motion. But when you're highly triggered through your hormones, people are constantly being triggered. They can't stop. They can't stop. Okay? The second law, the force on an object is equal to its mass times acceleration. Force equals mass times acceleration. The force on an object is equal to its mass times its acceleration. The force equals mass times acceleration. F equals ma. The third law, when two objects interact, they apply force to each other of equal magnitude and opposite direction. Or for every action, there's an equal or opposite reaction. And so if you're going to have a force put on you, like a change, you're either going to assimilate or you're going to resist it. And we do something that's opposite, then there's a deadlock. Deadlock means deadbolt, means you're locked in that specific lifestyle. And so you'll see where that will be appropriate later on. So then there's 3 laws of thermodynamics. The laws of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted. Second law, for a spontaneous process, the entropy of the universe increases. Okay, so you lose substance as the energy converts. Okay, every single time you go through an unstable change, like we have in this climate change, you lose energy. You lose substance. And that's why you have to keep eating. That's why I always get hungry whenever there's climate change or shifts or the frequencies change. Or I go outside in a really aggressive environment, like with my husband, like yesterday or the day before, not yesterday. Because it was so dynamic on Saturday. Yeah, it was so dynamic on Saturday that I really couldn't go fishing on Sunday. I mean, I probably could have, but I needed to sleep. I literally needed to sleep. And I even slept yesterday. And it was so comfortable. I ate and I slept, I relaxed. And even going to sleep at night, I can go to sleep at night too and have no problem. Before, when I was sick during the day, I'd have a hard time sleeping at night when I had really major PMDD. But now, the sleep that I get is so fucking necessary. My husband was up at 4 a.m. yesterday morning. And then he'd worked on things with people, went fishing. I didn't go fishing. I needed my sleep. And then he goes to work. And I'm like, dude, he can't. And he got home at 4. So he basically almost up for 24 hours. He won't do that again. He will not do that. He needs his fucking sleep. If you don't get sleep, your brain will fucking eat itself. He needs to start saying no to things out there. But again, you know how men are. When they have that ability to just keep going and going until their body goes, okay, you can't keep going anymore. And he doesn't get the luxury of being sick to slow his ass down unless there's a major shift in the environment. He'll keep going until he is forced to sleep. And yeah, he needed to. He's right now. He's in bed, just dead to the world, and he needs to be, because he needs to regain some of that brain matter that's going to be eaten during that process of staying awake. Okay, and so when you're up, it's a lot of energy conversion. You're losing substance. That's why you have to eat and sleep. And so when I was going through my PMDD days, when I was feeling like shit and I would stay home, even calling sick to work, I would be eating and sleeping. I would be regaining the substance that I used so much of during the week, because yeah, I would be working my ass off. I would be like a dude. If I was a dude back then, oh, I would have been working, making money. If I had bigger body to me, I would be able to afford it. I would have been a rich motherfucker. I really would have been a rich person. You know, if I was in a different body, in a different time. Or even the same time. If I was a dude, I knew if I was a dude, I would be one of those sharks on Wall Street, just taking everyone's money and strategizing how to get money from somebody, because that's what it is out there. That's what we were trained in California. We were trained all over the place. When you get into specific jobs, especially finance, insurance, I mean, we're not trying to be totally like illegal, but let me tell you, the gray areas are there. Find every way to get in the door and take business away from somebody else. And you take all the business to yourself. And yes, and so yeah. But I'm a woman. I have ovaries, highly evolutionary, and I was sick every fucking month. And how did I have to recoup the resources in between the times I was making a shit ton of money? Or I don't say making a shit ton of money, because I was never really rich, but I was surviving even without a degree. I was going from from sales job to sales job to admin job to admin job, making money. I wasn't making shit ton, making enough money, partying, having fun. And then those 2 weeks of just kicking ass, and I'd be down for a few days. And that doesn't fly in fucking corporate America. You can't like kick ass, and then be down for a few days. You're like, nope, you gotta be consistent. Okay, but that's not how my system worked. I'd kick ass, use up so many resources, get really skinny because I'd be drinking so much coffee, like 3 or 4 shots of espresso. Back then it was like, holy shit. And I would just be going. And then one day, bam, time to rest, time to eat, time to sleep, time to be cranky, time to be bitchy, time to be whatever. And I would have to do that. I would have to feed myself to recoup the resources and sleep a lot because I hardly slept during those 2 weeks. And then I would be really just on the other side of it for at least a week or so, a week and a half, and then pulling myself out of that fucking hole. And that was hell. Okay. That was hell. So I know how important sleep is. And so when it's more than just a nap, you have to eat also. So I eat before I sleep. If I'm going that direction where I feel like, oh my gosh, a shift in the climate, then I will eat, whatever. I'll eat ice cream. I'll eat pasta and cheese. I'll eat whatever. And then I'll be zonked out sleeping like a fucking baby. And it's such an amazing feeling. Oh my God, that's the best feeling ever. All right, so the third law of thermodynamics is a perfect crystal at 0 Kelvin has 0 entropy, or you're dead. What they're saying is basically cured. When you have 0 entropy, when you're not breaking down at all, that's called being cured. That is equilibrium. That's death. That's flatline. Because even those who are relatively symptom-free, there's always a breaking down process, but that breaking down process isn't causing so much of an energy shift of that growth. That constant dying and reproducing your body is not causing an instability. It's just like right now, there's still breaking down going on, but there's also growth. But it's not completely equal. There's always an inequality, but it's very slight. When there's a major shift in the environment, then there's a major inequality. And then you feel a lot of growth and also release. Okay. And so, when you're at perfect Kelvin at 0 entropy, that's called being cured. And when you are cured in a dynamic environment, which you can't really be 100% cured or you'd be dead. But when you're relatively cured in a dynamic environment and you haven't gone through your predisposed issues really, and you haven't released those demons, and you are aging out right now as we speak, you are in accelerated entropy. The body is now just living off the fumes, living off the little bit of food you're giving it, whatever that is, and living off whatever you already hold inside from how many years of your existence. And that is the degradation, the decline, that is the losing of the heat. And it's they're gaining so much heat and gaining so much pressure and gaining so much, but they're not losing it, that they become suffocated. That's the other side of it. And then, of course, the constriction of the blood vessels. That's a lot of energy. That's too much. It's like being too hot. When you're too hot, it's suffocating. When you have a lot of energy to you, a lot of weight to you, that's suffocation. And so you have to be really balanced in between the death and reproduction, where it's relative equilibrium, but not complete equilibrium, because that's flatline. Okay? So then the third sets of laws is the laws of biology. All living organisms obey the laws of thermodynamics, okay, which is the 3 laws of thermodynamics. All of them do. And so you have to learn how to do negentropy. So if one half of your body is going through entropy, then you have to be willing to fulfill the other side of it and do the negentropy. Keep filling in the holes. Whenever there is an instability going on, you have to keep filling in the holes. If you're not doing that, then all this climate change is going on is going to accelerate the entropy process, and you will not survive. And that is what's going on right now. Okay, so the first law of biology is all living organisms obey the laws of thermodynamics. The second law of biology is all living organisms consist of membrane encased cells. Okay, the third law of biology is all living organisms arose in the evolutionary process. You are an evolutionary person. Even though you may not practice it, doesn't mean that you can't evolve. It's just you are, but you're resisting it. Those that don't want to feel pain, that are doing all their drugs and detoxes and surgeries and supplements and all the things that are taking away their food, they're resisting evolution. And you've been taught to resist evolution, but also buy into it theoretically, but not actually exhibit it biologically. People right now in the medical holistic system are resisting evolution. Doesn't mean that the system can't evolve. The medical system could evolve, so could academia, so could the holistic system. But that's not their forte. They're about selling you the resistance to evolution. Even though they could evolve, they only choose to very minutely, because they have to then transition the people that they have told not to evolve to then say, okay, well, pain is okay. And that's then what the whole V's. Giving people a V was introducing evolution to them. Because what would happen? They would have to produce proteins. But those that can't handle that evolution of change and producing life, they may not survive that whole life production scenario. Because they're trying to resist it. And you resist any kind of change, you develop more change, you develop more proteins, because you have to bring up proteins to resist it. And so that's why people don't survive climate change. And then, of course, their practices resisting life. And then even those that take on the V's, take on stuff, resisting evolution, brings up evolution because it brings up proteins, and they don't survive a heart attack or a stroke. But on the other side of it, those who even don't take the V's, they're still going to be subject to the conditions. They're going to feel the instability. Their body's going to go through an immunological response regardless of their therapy status. And they're going to go and resist it with the holistic world, with the allopathic world. And when you resist something, you're in jail, you're deadlocked, there's no evolution. Then it died suddenly in a very dynamic environment. And that was the fucking intention. If you don't even realize it, then you're not going to. And I see it all over fucking Facebook, especially those in the right-wing anti-V world. But you can't tell them anything because they are so traumatized from the last 3 years. Nothing can penetrate. Nothing can fucking penetrate. And you feel bad for them because you like them because they are passionate. They want to live. They want to save their family. But they can't get out of their own way. They've been too radicalized in the right-wing world, in the anti-V world. And all you can do is just watch it and watch the train wreck and just hope that they are relatively pain-free on their way out the door. Because they won't survive this with as much resistance as they are promoting on Facebook. You can only imagine what goes on at home. How much resistance to evolution. You can see, probably look in their medicine cabinet, in the refrigerator, all the different detoxes, all the different concoctions to resist evolution. All the spicy foods to resist evolution. They have their homeopathic and allopathic and herbalists on fucking speed dial. That's how much they're resisting it. So if you see them put stuff on Facebook, then you can only imagine what goes on at home. Okay? And so let me go to this next thing. All you emotional activists blaming people, why don't you take your energy, your emotions, and channel it through something like learning something new? Stop resisting everything. Learn physics. Okay? Learn biology. Learn chemistry. You have 69 trillion chances to redirect anything. No one is forcing you to take a V. No one is forcing you to do anything except adapt to a changing environment. That was fucking brilliant of the New World Order. That was so fucking brilliant. Because you're going to have to adapt anyways. You had to adapt to even the cold and flu season. But you survived it, right? That was a conditioning process, cold and flu season, springtime allergies. When I equated Hawaii was like a summer all year round. And they don't have a cold and flu season. So you see how big Hawaiians are? They're fucking burly. Hawaiians are huge. They have great food. Why? Because they don't have anything that causes so much instability to cause a release process. So then they are big people. Right? That's an example of probably what things were when there was a climate that was hot, sticky, relatively temperate and continuous. There was no fluctuations. There was no real cold. Tropical climates. Okay? And so when you're in the indigenous population, tropical climate, the bigger you are, the more power, the more respect, the elder, the wisdom that you have acquired. Okay, that's why some of these indigenous tribes in the tropical places in the middle of the Atlantic or the middle of the Pacific, big people. And I lived in Hawaii for at least 6 or 7 months. People that were skinny were all from the Westerners. So all wanted to look like, the models in the magazine with all their little tropical shit in the background. Hawaiian tropics. Okay. The bathing suit calendars and the sunscreen ads and everything. But when you look at the actual indigenous Hawaiians, they were big people, big kahunas. Why? Because they're bringing on the pressure and not much release, but they keep bringing on the pressure. And yes, there is also heart disease and other things that go along with that, because you got to be able to release. I mean, there's still lifespans in these indigenous communities, but yeah, tropical people. But then you go into other places where they're skinny, skinny, skinny. But just all depends on the kind of food they have access to. And Hawaiians have access to poi, very starchy type of food. I've had poi. And then you have also the influence of the Japanese, the katsu, and and I loved when I was living there was the spam musubi. Spam was huge. I think was it World War II? They were living off of spam. Okay. And so when you're in a hot climate, eating poi, a very starchy potato type vegetable, and you're eating spam musubis, which is like basically spam on top of a thing of egg and rice. You can get that at 7-Eleven. Yeah, you're gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's no real way to so they actually need more of the salt in the water so they can release some of those demons. But that's not their culture. Okay. All right. So you have 69 trillion chances to redirect. 69 trillion chances. And so with people that are in the cold climate, that cold will help when that transition will help you release the demons and evolve. And so you're blowing your nose, going through that transition process, strengthening your body to handle the change, the evolution. And you don't want to be too skinny in the cold, because then eventually hypothermia, that's being too cold. Then you're raising the heat all the time. Okay, but really when you think about it, adding more weight to your body in the cold will help also keep that relative equilibrium. Okay, so that way you have it, so that whole resistance to being cold will keep you warm. And that's a different type of resistance. That's insulation. That's what keeps you warm. But those that are really underweight, that can't handle cold or even air conditioning, you need to pack on the pounds. You are underweight. And I talked to someone a couple of years ago that was really skinny and couldn't handle even eating a peanut, was trying to introduce peanuts into her world. But she was always cold. Always. She couldn't go into people's houses that had high AC because she would freeze to death. Shit, even go to my mom's house. Her house was 80 degrees in California when I visited her that one time. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm freaking sweltering. Turn on the AC, but she's also really skinny too. She couldn't handle the cold. Okay? So when you can't handle the cold, you don't have real much insulation, you're in a fucked situation. You have to gain some weight, especially in this climate. All right? So no matter what, cold or warm, if you're underweight, you're screwed. You have to start gaining the weight and gaining that substance for the energy conversion. 69 trillion chances to redirect. So then I'm like, all those who are fighting for their freedom, if you're not in jail, like literal jail, you are free. But you only go as high as you've been conditioned to go because of your own belief systems. Now, this example, like a flea in a jar, I'm taking this from Landmark Education because they taught me that one concept. There's a bunch of concepts, but the one that reminded me, or the one that was really influential, was like a flea in the jar. And you have fleas or anything in the jar. I guess they did that experiment. The flea was in the jar for a certain amount of time. The flea jumped to as high as the lid. They took the lid off. The flea never left the jar. The flea still only jumped as high as where the lid would have been. And that flea was free. It could leave any time, but it didn't want to leave. I guess you can call it Stockholm Syndrome. And that's kind of what's going on too in this society. People don't want to they don't want to take responsibility for themselves or blaming everyone else. They're like a flea in a jar. They've been conditioned to resist, conditioned to be an activist. That's what the whole Constitution was all about. Well, the Constitution wasn't really about that, but it was the amendments. The First and Second Amendment was about keeping you in the jail of constant resistance. Every single time the left would be in control as far as the voting and elections and shit, then the right would be resisting. And then vice versa, and they would be deadlocked. There'd be no progress for the people until the government wanted to introduce progress. So the people were deadlocked, fighting amongst each other as far as left and right. And the government was the one that evolved. That's why they kept introducing crazy-ass changes like the wars, like the 1960s. So they introduced change. Everyone was deadlocked, fighting amongst each other. They still got the change through all of that bullshit. And then it gave me another evolutionary person that was in the making. Okay? So you see how that works. Realize what goes on. It's not a bad thing. You just got to know what's going on. And so you realize that resistance is futile because you're deadlocked and then you're in jail. You have just jailed yourself. Okay, so like a flea in a jar, take the lid off. The flea only goes as high as the lid of the jar. Even though the lid is off, the flea will still only jump as high as the lid of the jar. You've been conditioned. You were never really enslaved except by your own mind. You were only born a slave because you were told to only believe one way, and you never questioned it. And that's in politics, whether it's Democrat or Republican, religion, Jehovah, Christianity, any kind of religion. When you're told only one way of doing things, one way to believe, there's a Satan, there's a Jesus, there's an angel, there's a Lucifer, and there's all these different apostles and whatever else. When you're given a religion and told to believe this way and only this way, you're in a fucking jail. And that's also in science. When you're told that you're not supposed to be more than this many pounds, and if you don't take a V, then you're bad. If you take a V, you're bad. If you don't take medicine, you're bad. If you don't go to the doctor, you're bad. If you go to the doctor, you're bad because you should go to a holistic person, then you're good. And that's right now, we have so many people in the jail of their parents and their really entrenched, dogmatic, legalistic belief system. So these poor kids are in jail. These young kids are in jail of their parents' belief system. And so you are enslaved by your parents. You are enslaved by the system enslaving your parents, giving them the power of fucking God until that parent crosses boundaries and the system comes in and corrects them. And so if you can survive your childhood and you can survive even your young adulthood, you're fucking awesome. You're fucking amazing. If you haven't completely gone over the goddamn cliff in your addictions and all your surgeries, because I'll tell you, I'm not saying you couldn't get away from your addictions or your surgeries and all the things that were ever done to you as a kid and even as a young adult, but it'll be that much more painful to come back from to become a whole person. If you can find a way to extricate yourself from all the people around you that are jailing you, holy shit, you are now on your way to freedom, literally. Because it is your circles of people that you're resisting and the people that are always in your corner going, yeah, do this, do that, reinforcing everything, that also jail you. And so you understand why it is that then I was letting people go and that were next to me, because I kept evolving and they couldn't evolve, and I wanted to make them evolve, but you can't make people evolve. You can't make them change. And so then it's what I have people that I have that I acknowledge 2 people on my book, but it's not like I'm expecting them to be everything. We're just going to watch everyone that's in my book that I acknowledge, and we're going to watch everyone that's on my Facebook that says they're part of this in some way. We're going to watch the outcome, but there is no expectation that you'll end up like me, because there's no way to predict the future. We're all just in a continuous evolution. There is no specific outcome. It's that you just keep facing the demons, keep feeding yourself, you keep taking on knowledge, trying to exhibit it some way, keep living, doing your life. And if there's changes along the way, that's great. If there's not, if people don't survive that I mentioned in my book, okay. And it's nothing to do with the J world per se. It's just that they couldn't adapt. So it's not like I'm putting any pressure that people follow me 100% exactly the same, because we're all different. We all have our different paths and all of our different everything. But it's acknowledging that evolution is inevitable. And do we have what it takes to change with the times, with the environment? And what are we doing? How are we exhibiting our life? And if one day somebody dies in the J world, correlation is equal to causation. It was just so many things, the factors or their choices in life. Okay? And so all I'm introducing is just another lifestyle that could be considered as something viable, and that you don't have to die someday. But you'd have to do almost everything the opposite and feed yourself and deal with the pain and probably pull back and not get so caught up in all the validation. And that's a huge change to ask people to make. Okay? And so you were only born a slave because you were told only to believe one way and you never questioned it. The internet has set you free, but people are still enslaved because they choose to be. I mean, there's so much knowledge there, but then how do you wade through the knowledge and the intent of the articles, the intent of the subject matters, the intent of people's perceptions? How do you now discern between someone's biases and someone just giving you just flat information? And so even reading dictionary definitions will have their own biases because they have context. You know, they have the definition one, a noun, a verb, an adjective, and those are all context. And so even understand how to read the dictionary and understand the context and how they persuade you to think one way or the other based upon the context or how that word is used in a specific context. But then you can't take everything literally. Now you have to understand how things are used, why they're used, and what your intention is, what their intention is. I mean, you almost have to consider every single other argument if you even expose yourself to every other argument. If you haven't, then you only believe one or two ways. Whatever was introduced to you, whatever was presented to you at the time, until you go outside of your circle, outside of your box, and read other contexts that are out there. If you can, if you're even allowing yourself to. Okay. So the internet has set people free, but people are still enslaved because they choose to be. Because they only choose to read only CNN or Fox or InfoWars or only PubMed, because PubMed is part of the National Institution of Health, which is all about curing people, taking away their pain, maybe even introducing some kind of evolution. But the end result is that people die someday because they've never mentioned potential immortality even in the National Institute of Health, PubMed. So then you have to even read between those lines. I mean, I'm telling you, there's so many layers of programming that you have to be aware of and also understand the intention. And if your intention is still to pass away, then you will find everything that will support your intention to pass away. But there's also the intention to stay alive. But you don't see too many articles that talk about immortality or negentropy. You only see the 3 laws of thermodynamics, which is entropy. But do you see the 3 laws of negentropy? No, that doesn't even fucking exist in science, in academia, in physics. Could I develop the 3 laws of negentropy, the opposite of entropy? I probably could. And maybe I'll do that. Fuck. Maybe I'll fucking do that. But I'll have to think about that one. I'm not gonna do it right now. The 3 laws of negentropy. That's giving birth to yourself. Right fucking there. Because entropy is like all over the place. The 3 laws of thermodynamics. The laws of thermodynamics is about death. So what about life? So that's what people have to realize, is that when they're looking for all the evidence to support their stuff, if you're believing you should die anyways, then everything on the internet and in academia, who's very slow to evolve, will support your death process. And they'll scare you from symptoms of like, oh my God. They'll go and compartmentalize elements and say, oh yeah, if you have too much sodium chloride, but they don't mention any water, yeah, you'll fucking die, right? Then you gotta think about it. If you don't have enough water, you'll fucking die, right? That's the other side of having too much salt. If you are not drinking water, then you'll fucking die. But you don't see even the articles in the medical journals talk about that. I mean, they do, but they don't. When they have radicalized people against the salt because that would release the demons of programming, that would cause then all that distraction, all that trauma to be released, and then you become a whole person and wake up to the fucking shit. That's why they came down on me so fucking bad. Because, yeah, they weren't prepared for all that. The system was not prepared for all that. That's funny, but not. Funny, but not. And so freedom fighters don't realize they developed every single cinder block in their own jail cell. You have jailed yourself. You are free, freedom fighters. But you have chosen to jail yourself by wanting to be cured and validated and resisting. Deadlock, deadbolt. If fighting for freedom means losing everyone you know, that's a good start. I read a post that someone said their fight for freedom will mean they will lose a lot of friends. Right the fuck on. You have the right idea. But I don't think that is your intention, even though it is, because you think you're using reverse psychology. Well, if you don't believe what I believe, then I'm going to defriend you. And you see that, and they're like, and they're all anti-V, and their friends are pro-V, wanting to recommend V's to their friends, and they're like, oh my God, you're so this, and you're so that, and this will happen to my husband or wife, and you want to get the V, and you knowing all this, I can't believe it, and so I'm going to lose you, I'm going to defriend you, or I'm going to block you, or I'm going to do whatever, and they're threatening to defriend their friends because they don't believe what they believe. And so when they say, I just read a post, someone said their fight for freedom will mean they will lose a lot of friends, right the fuck on. You have the right idea, but I don't think that's your intention, even though it is. They think their unconverted friends are putting them in jail with their belief systems, right? I mean, that's essentially why they're trying to defriend, because they don't want their friends to put them in jail and force them to do something. No one's forcing you to do shit. Your friends aren't forcing you to do anything. Why are you defriending people that haven't done shit to you except have their own belief system? That's how intolerant the right wing and the left wing are with each other. So they will drop their friends who don't believe in what they believe. Okay, that is half the battle. Fucking A. However, what the person does not realize, that's the beginning of your freedom. You have the right idea, because maybe it's not just their circle of friends are the ones who have jailed them, right? Your friends and family who believe what you believe. Maybe it's everybody around them, even the ones who also believe the same thing. They believe are the ones who have jailed them, they believe are the ones who have jailed them the most. Okay, so maybe it's everyone around them, even the ones who also believe the same thing they believe are the ones who have jailed them the most. So the ones you're resisting have jailed you because you're in a deadlock, and the ones around you have jailed you because they keep reinforcing your one-sided, biased, fucking legalistic, goddamn belief system. When you have friends and family that support your legalistic, biased, intolerant belief system, you are in jail from your friends and family, and you are in jail from the ones that you are resisting, the ones that are thinking opposite of you. You are jailed by them as well. That's America. That's the first world. And so even the ones that did not convert to their belief system also reinforce the jail because they're trying to resist something that doesn't even exist, except in their own head. That's why you have to watch the people around you. It's fucking insane watching people resist something that's not even there. They're on their Facebook. They get the freedom to go to their mailbox, go to the store. They have their job. They have money. They have, whatever. Yeah, someone's in the hospital because they keep resisting evolution, and they keep giving their friends and family all the ivermectins and all the different tinctures and pills, supplements are resisting evolution, and they end up in the hospital, and then they go and blame those that are pro-V for why their husband or wife or daughter or son is in the fucking hospital, when it was really the mom that kept with her major medicine cabinet resisting evolution, was the one that put everyone in the fucking hospital. But could you tell them that? No, because they're radicalized. They're resisting something that doesn't even fucking exist except in their own head. So when two opposing forces are resisting each other, they're in a deadlock. That's a jail. And so what is deadlock? A situation, typically one involving opposing parties in which no progress can be made. An attempt to break the deadlock. Similar. Stalemate, impasse, checkmate, standoff, stand still, halt, stop, stoppage, cessation, full stop. British is a type of lock requiring a key to open and close it as distinct from a spring lock. A deadbolt. Okay, I didn't know that. Similar. Bolt, lock, latch, catch, fastening, fastener, sneck, snib. The verb is causing a situation or opposing parties to come to a point where no progress can be made because of fundamental disagreement. The jurors were deadlocked on 6 charges. Similar, a tie, a draw, a dead heat. British secure a door with a deadlock. You can deadlock any exit from the outside. And so here's the kicker. Maybe you already know the only way to break free is to get away from the addiction of validation and get away from the addiction to resistance. And so when someone who is so unhappy and resisting everyone, maybe they just need to walk the fuck away from their life. If you're that unhappy and you're blaming everyone for everything, the government, the people that think opposite of you, anyone that looks different, then maybe you need to walk away from your life, because ain't nothing in your life serving you, giving you any kind of remotely amount of feeling of relative peace and security and feelings of just, okay, contentness. Because either you're going to survive and feed the energy of whatever's going on, or the people in your life and the people not in your life are destroying you. You're like, what? How does that work? Because you're resisting people that don't even exist in your world, really. And you're still unhappy. And there's people around you that are contributing to that unhappiness. When you're unhappy, it's because you put yourself around people that keep you unhappy, that keep you under the influence, that keep you deadlocked. And so if you want to break free, walk the fuck away from your life. But again, that has to be done carefully, and not everything is easy. It's just walking away. I get it. But maybe you're really not unhappy with the people around you. Maybe you're not happy with those that resist you or think differently. Maybe you're fucking unhappy with yourself and you need to release the demons. You have so much conflict inside your asshole, so much conflict in your head, so much conflict in your immune system, that you have to not only release the demons, but you can't be cured. You can't, every time you feel something, use J juice and think that that's going to help you. No, it actually kept you more entrenched, more cured, and more unhappy with your life, because you've trapped now your lifestyle in your body. You've trapped your belief systems in your body. That's what being cured is. That's those who use the J juice all the time, and who are resisting, and who are upset at the world, and who are unhappy, and their friends and family are all, in the hospital because of the fact that they believe in the cures, the constant validation, and the constant resistance. Can you tell them that? No. The government can't even tell them that. That's why the government can't really do anything except change the environment, because they can't make people like that change. They can't. There's no fucking way. You can't get through to them. There is no fucking penetration. That wall was built up so hard and so fast and so thick with resistance and thick with reinforcement that the only thing the government can do is fucking change the environment and hope that they finally figure it out. But they can't force them to do it. Maybe your own family has put you in jail. Think about that, freedom fighters. Maybe now it's time to stop resisting, because you're getting rid of those who actively resist you. And also re-examine the people around you who you are closest to the most. So if you are resisting something that doesn't even fucking exist, then you're resisting also your friends and family supporting you. If you're that unhappy that you have to be, under the influence, or an activist against something. Maybe they're the ultimate overseers reinforcing the jail that you're trying to break free from. And maybe it's not the people around you. Maybe it's all the fucking shit inside your body that you're trying to resist, but you can't get away from yourself. But it's layers. You have that crap in your body and you have issues, and the people around you are not allowing you to change. That's a lot of layers of people reinforcing the jail cell that you have put yourself in. But first, if you don't want to get rid of people around you because you respect them and you like them, then you better change yourself. If you can't change yourself because they won't let you, now you see who's jailing who, not only yourself, but your friends and family, because they don't want you to change. Maybe they are the ultimate overseers, reinforcing that jail you're trying to break free from. Are you able to be yourself without the fear of repercussions? Are you free to change without someone trying to corral you back to the stables? People say yes, but I would say that if they did change, they would be met with so much resistance. And so most people don't like their friends and family to change, which is why when you're in a large family, it's very hard to break free. I thought I wanted to be part of a large family. Oh, fuck no, I don't. I do not. Because as soon as you try to change, you will have not only your significant other going like, no, you can't. Then you have the in-laws, your own family, and all the in-laws, and they're very influential. And you're that needy, you need to be around people. Yeah, you won't change. They'll corral you right back to where they want you to be. And then you'll be miserable, fighting to get out. And then you'll be an activist, because that's the only way you can do is blame out there. You'll love your family because you need them, but you'll blame people over there. You look at Jillian. Jillian's horrible. Jillian's stupid. Jillian's this. Jillian's that. So they'll blame me for all their problems when they're really it's themselves and everyone in their circle that has jailed them. But they think I'm the one that's enslaving them. They're resisting me. I'm not even in their fucking family. I'm not even in their goddamn town. I'm not even in their fucking house. But oh, Jillian, we gotta resist Jillian because she's so influential. No, I'm not. You made me influential because you recognize that you gotta free yourself. But don't give me that kind of fucking credit now. They'll say, oh, Jillian's horrible. She's fucking Satan. She's the worst thing since fucking this and that. I mean, I've heard it all, okay? And I'm like, I don't even email you. I don't even go to your groups. I don't even know who the fuck you are. And yet I'm someone you have to resist? What? Does that even make fucking sense? Bill Gates is over there somewhere in Seattle. You think he has any fucking influence over you? You think the hospital system and the government's coming into your house and being your kids and forcing you to do all these things? No. But that's the radicalization of people who have been jailed by their friends, their family, their own immune system, and they can't fucking get out, and they are desperate. And it sucks. It's suffering. That's the suffering. That's the self-induced suffering. If you're not happy with the politics that are going on, with all the religions that are going on, or the sciences of the world, walk away from everything. It's not just the politics or religion or the science that you're resisting. You're resisting the life that you're in. All right? Even in your own body, you're resisting your own body's processes because you don't like the torture of what it's feeling. You're trying to cure it. And the more you cure something, the more you jail whatever's in your body, and you'll be tortured by all those feelings and microbes and things. If you're not happy, it's no one's fault but your own. Set yourself free. I give you permission, but you don't need my permission. You've always had the freedom to leave, but you never did. It's not even just leaving. You could also release the things that are torturing you inside your body. But that also may be people in your world that you don't realize that you're tolerating because of whatever reason. Okay? I still like people. I don't want them always next to me or always hanging out with them all the time because they're very influential. And I am too, and I don't want to have that deadlock. I mean, evolution, too much evolution is crazy. Too much resistance is crazy. And so then it's like, it's just, everything is portion control. You don't want too much or too little of anything. So then you have to be willing to decide how much energy and how much things that you want to entertain. And if you don't have any boundaries and you don't know your own, your own capabilities, then you'll let somebody else dictate who you are, where you need to be, and everything. And that's the medical holistic system. That's the whole support system of friends and families and groups and associations. If you can't ride alone, then you'll ride with so many people, and you'll go down with the ship with them too. When someone in that group dictates when everyone goes down. There's always a king bee and a queen bee in every group mentality. Every group mentality. There's a king bee and a queen bee. Okay? So just make sure that when you do leave, you leave responsibly. Don't leave a mess behind you. Sometimes the mess will be there anyways because people don't want people to leave, and they'll be all upset, and they'll have their own little issues around that. You've seen that. Because there's a way to leave without destroying other people. So you can leave people relatively whole, and you could extricate yourself okay. But even leaving is not always good for people. So sometimes messes are inevitable just because people have made themselves a mess, and they've relied on you so much that you leaving would be like, holy shit. All right? I mean, people won't want you to leave, but if you are that unhappy to the point of you're destroying the world around you and yourself because you're that unhappy, then you gotta leave. Or I guess you'll leave in a casket. Some people will just sacrifice themselves for everyone. And so if they can't leave the situation, their whole body will just leave the situation. Unintentionally. But intentionally because you believe you should die someday, right? And so if you're that unhappy, then you're willing to destroy your own government. That's a real major red flag. And you'll have to figure all that out yourself. And so if you're unhappy, whose fault is that? I'm happy, I guess. I mean, what is happiness, right? I'm content. I don't need too much. I love my life. Yeah, because my life will die and reproduce. It will go through its evolution. So I love my life. And I'm happy. And I respect my life. I respect the life that's in my life. I don't try to enslave it. I try to do the best I can to be open to everything so as long as our needs get met. But I don't want to put any parameters on anyone else. I put my own parameters on myself because I'm very aware of how much I need and what I don't need. And I'm going to get mad at my husband for staying there for 24 hours. when he said that I'm not doing that again. I'm glad he said that. I didn't have to say it. I don't want to be his mom. He's going to learn on his own that he can't keep pushing those fucking limits of staying up all the time like that. That'll fucking destroy you. You need your sleep. You need to eat. You need your sleep. But I don't want to put those parameters on him and say, well, you need to do this, this, and this. He will figure it out. He's a grown-up. Okay? And so, I've learned how to just shut up about certain things because, my husband loves what he does as far as the boating and helping out people and having all of his friends, but he's got to figure out how much he can afford, literally, and biologically, how much can he afford? And so, so I know how much I can afford. And so if I have to stay home and not go fishing and miss out, I'll stay home and I'll take care of myself. Okay? And that's sometimes that's what you have to do, is you have to say no to people around you. Say no to yourself, too, occasionally. Okay, so my goal is not to be happy. I don't need to be happy. My goal is to live and evolve and learn. Leaving isn't always the answer, but it is for some people. You know who you are. If you're in a situation, you must leave. Just be careful. Many domestic violence situations end up in a bad way because someone leaves, right? So if you're going to leave, do it strategically if you're in a bad domestic violence situation. But your resistance to whatever is a sign that you're not happy with the world that you have developed. Change was always inevitable, all right? It's time to start assimilating and adapting to change. That's evolution. That's survival. That's biology. What do I like? I like diverse acquaintances. I like tolerant acquaintances. What also could be considered as a friend on some level. Absolutely. Some people I won't cry about losing a friendship, and some people I would not cry losing me as their friend. Okay? And so if, yeah, I know that I say really inflammatory things. And so I understand that could turn people off and make them not like me and all that stuff. But I've never really done anything to people, really, when you think about it. I don't do things to anybody. I may resist behaviors out there that are really close to me that I'm not liking to be involved in something. But that's the only boundaries I have. And if that is something that is not going to stop on their end, then I have to relinquish myself on that end. And so, if a person doesn't like me because of what I say on Facebook, then unfollow me. You don't have to follow what I say. Okay, but if your suffering is the fact that I say stuff that you don't like, then you're choosing to listen to my information. That's not my fault. And I can still like you for who you are. You can still like me for who I am. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything I say. It doesn't mean you have to follow my information or even listen to what I'm saying. But I have my own ideas that are going to conflict with most people out there. And it's going to seem like I'm insulting their friends, their family, their lifestyle, their whole belief system. And I'm not. I'm just offering another way. I'm offering another way, a way out of the inevitable continuous suffering but you can't guarantee that. No, I can't. But I could say that there's another way, and it would require a lot on your end to change. But change is inevitable. And if you don't introduce change, it will never happen. And if you resist change, you will not happen. And so if people want to live, like they want to live and see things, watch your kids grow up, understand what's going on, certain things have to change. I mean, how much change you introduce is up to you, but things have to change. The government knows it. So I completely understand if some people don't cry about losing me. Oh, I get it. I can be very inflammatory, especially if you hold dear certain things like cannabis or other things, and I've been really heavy against the cannabis because I know what they're using it for, the system. And I'm like, holy fuck, but you can't change people unless they want to change. But I hope you understand too. I completely understand. I hope you understand too. But if you're in my world in some way, even as an outside looking in, you are influential because I know you or known you. And we both have the luxury of capitalizing on the energy, knowing the existence of one another. So even if you're not in my life or on my Facebook as a friend, you're still in my world. I still know you exist. I see you occasionally over on people's pages. I have no issue with you. You are part of all the energy that is contributing to everything that I'm doing. You are influential, okay? You are extremely influential. Everyone that I know or do not know that's in my life is influential because they have the energy they put out there in the world, and it is a chain reaction. Okay. And so, you all are great. I appreciate it. And so thank you. And so then I said attraction and repel. You see the darkness in others before ourselves. So then we realize we attract what we repel is who we are. And so what is the key to freedom? When you think about it, it is the assimilation. And I was dreaming about that. That's why I wrote that last night in the middle of the night. Or yeah, it was that, yeah, we attract what we repel. And that is who we are. And so what is the key to freedom? To assimilate, but find the right type of assimilation. Doesn't mean you entertain someone right in your face all the time. Doesn't mean that you hang out with them all the time. But you assimilate to their energy in the best way that's good for you, and know your boundaries. And if what they say pisses you off, then you have to figure out how to still like them for parts of them, but cut off the things that are really causing you inflammation and anger and all that stuff. If that means don't listen to my videos, then if that means not following or blocking certain posts that seem like I'm going against you or whatever, then do that. People I like on my Facebook that I don't necessarily follow me all the time, or I follow them all the time, certain posts I'll like block or X out so I don't see it in my feed, but I still have them as a friend because I like other things they have to say. Other people I'll just unfollow because I know that they're going to be pounding the gavel of life is short, play hard type of shit, or life has an expiration date. And so enjoy yourself. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to have to keep countering that. Life is not short, doesn't have to be, and life doesn't have to have an expiration date. And so then I, make sure that those spells don't get cast on me all the time. So that's why I unfollow. But I can still go back to their pages and be like, oh yeah, look what they're doing here, look what they're doing here. And I can like certain things, but other things, I don't need to have that in my face. All right. Okay. And so then we look at the central emotional. This was funny about the Central Intelligence Agency. So we know the intelligence is all about emotions and and all of that, hormones and emotions and anger, love and hate and all that shit. Hold on. So given what we discovered, the difference between emotional and intelligence and intellectual, CIA Central Intelligence equals Central Emotional Agency. So when you think about the CIA, a bunch of wah crying babies, well, not necessarily, but that would be funny, right? If we actually put a picture to the CIA, a bunch of emotional people. But no, they are the ones that develop the emotions, trigger people's emotions. And they are the ones that can go and read people's emotions and predict their behaviors. Okay. And so the Central Intelligence is the Central Emotional Agency. They trigger people, and they also can read people's behaviors and know how to direct people or misdirect them. And so they are trained to trigger emotions and also read them. That's the FBI too. They learn some aspects of that. But the CIA is really like, they are the world's emotional agency. They understand the emotions of indigenous populations to really advanced populations such as America and the first world, the UK and Europe. Okay? So they are definitely people you don't want to fuck with. You don't want to fuck with the CIA. You don't want to fuck with the American government. You don't want to fuck with the FBI. You don't want to fuck with anyone in the first world that's in high government. You just understand what's going on and know your place and assimilate. Fucking assimilate. Because the more you resist, the more you enjail yourself, and then you'll break the law. And when you break the law, now you're seeing what's going on with Trump. Now you're seeing what's going on with other people that have resisted the changes that are going on. The law is what determines the outcome, the law. And so when you're highly emotional, you'll fucking break the law. The CIA does it all the time, but they can. They're the ones that developed everything. And they are a collective of people that die and reproduce and evolves. You'll have leaders of the Central Intelligence for one time, and then they leave, and someone else is the leader, and it's an ever revolving door. Okay. And so even though they're intelligent, they're also intellectual, because the intellect is also the evolution as well as the emotions. Because academia is part of the CIA. All of that's all interconnected. It's not one is precluding the other. It's not one excluding the other. They're both working together. But when you look at the word, central intelligence, central emotional, okay? Since academia evolves at a very slow rate, it takes people outside of academia to evolve academia. But even academics resist anyone questioning their thesis. And so they're in their own academic intellectual jail, failure to launch and evolve. All right. And so academia is central intellectual agency, but they do evolve very slowly. Just seeing how they dealt with that peanut allergy at the Cleveland Clinic shows a very small, slight evolution. But a peanut nut allergy is one out of probably thousands and thousands of allergies out there, because they've used thousands and thousands of elements and foods and vegetation as a remedy against life. And so that develops then allergies in people. And that's all over the medical system as well as the holistic system. And so them introducing those allergens to someone's body so they can get over the allergy, that's just one of thousands that they will be dealing with. And so that's another, what do you call that? That's another cash cow. Developing the allergies, using the remedies, and then going and trying to overcome the allergies by introducing the things they used against life in the body. That's fucking amazing. That's the ever-evolving capitalistic door. That's the Hegelian dialectic. Okay. And so as long as you know this, then you get yourself out of the wars. Resistance is futile. It's deadlock. You're in jail. You need to assimilate. If you can't assimilate, then you will jail yourself. Because even people in jail, they can't resist them being in jail. If you resist being in jail, you're already in jail. You resist that, then you're dead. Right? Because then if you're not going to even try to evolve in jail and survive, somebody will destroy you. Just look at general population, and someone did a really horrific crime. They don't survive gen pop if you've done something really bad towards certain things in our society. And so if you're resisting evolution in jail and you're not trying to survive, you will not survive jail. So maybe it's better to figure out that, the fact that you're not in jail says that you have every chance to redirect. That you don't have to do this whole Darwinism of dog eat dog, because I'll tell you, you don't want to be in actual jail. That's not the place for activists who are trying to save themselves and save their fucking kids. But again, psychological bullshit's going on in their head. And all you can do is just watch it. But understand the words in the world that you live in. If you don't understand words and you're not very verbal, or you're not articulate about anything really, and you're not in your resistance to reading and understanding the world you live in, you'll be so easily manipulated. Oh my God, you'll be so easy to trigger, so easy. And then you'll end up committing a crime, just like what happened January 6th. That was a case in point of people premeditating the destruction of their own government. Premeditating that. All right, bye.